Okay, good afternoon, all of you. I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay, in the last class, we were discussing about a rectangular waveguide. Okay, so TE mode in rectangular waveguide. Now, in today's class, we will try to study that transverse magnetic mode TM in rectangular waveguide only. Okay, in the last class, we have seen the problems also on TE rectangular waveguide. Okay, we have taken the dominant mode T10 mode, and one example of that we have taken, and we just solved that problem. Okay, so you should remember these formulas to have the understanding of the problems. Okay, and we also went through the few definitions like degenerate mode, dominant mode, then evanescent mode, and we also went through the different modes how that can be represented in the waveguide. Okay, in the rectangular waveguide. Okay, so yeah, where is the cursor? Yeah, okay, yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, okay. I hope slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So we also went through the different modes that can be represented in this form, like TM11 can be represented in this form. We have to check the cutting of that point from the X side as well as the Y side, okay? And like TM31 and the wave, the peak, the peak can be formed in the TE mode so that it can be represented from this side, X side. We can see how many peaks are visible. Okay, maybe the upper peak, maybe the positive peak, maybe the negative peak. Okay, negative direction. So we need to check. Now we will try to see the TM mode in rectangular waveguide. This is quite similar. Okay, so the explanation and all these whatever we have studied in for T mode is similar to this in TM mode also. But keep in mind we have to take the precautions that is starting of the equation or is in the starting of the derivations. We have to take the for TM mode we have to take Hz equal to 0 and Ez not equal to 0. So we have the TM mode in rectangular waveguide. In TM, it is also in a format of TM MN. Okay, MN is a suffix, the mod number which is represented by here. So this TM MN mode in rectangular waveguide are characterized by Hz equal to 0 and Ez not equal to 0. So here Hz is equal to 0. So magnetic field in Z direction will be 0 and electric field in the Z direction will be there, and it will be responsible to carry out the energy from one point to the another point in the waveguide direction, wave propagation direction. So that is the responsible for energy, that delivering of energy from input to the output. Okay, so that will carry out the energy throughout the waveguide. Now we have the Helmholtz equation in a rectangular waveguide. So we know del square psi is equal to gamma square psi, and in terms of psi we can replace with the Ez value. So del square Ez is equal to gamma square Ez, and we know the solution of Helmholtz equation can be written in this form. So Ez can be written in this form: Am sin m pi by ax plus Bm cos n pi by b n pi by b. Okay, sorry, n pi by, I'm sorry, it is written, is it correct, is it wrong? Okay, am sin m pi by a into x, bm cos n pi by b into x. No, no, no. It is m pi by a into x. Okay, and here it is cn sin n pi by b into y and dn cos n pi by b into y. So that is there in this form, and we need to check the boundary condition. We will go for the boundary condition. We will try to find out how the Ez is look like after applying the boundary condition. So above equation can be determined by applying boundary conditions, which is on Ez required at the field vanishes at the waveguide wall. So we know the waveguide wall, at the waveguide wall, suppose waveguide is like this. Waveguide is this one, and this is in y direction, and this is suppose in x direction. So at the boundary of the wall, suppose this is x equal to 0 to x equal to a, and here y equal to 0 to y equal to b. So at the wall of this waveguide, that is this wall, upper wall, and this side wall, all the walls whatever you have visible to you, you can say take the down wall also, the side wall, all the wall, at all the wall, the waveguide, the field will vanishes, or field will be zero at the waveguide wall. So to have the electric field zero at the waveguide wall, we need to apply, because Ez is there, Hz is not, Hz is equal to zero, so we have Ez. So we will apply the boundary condition at the boundary, that is x equal to 0 and x equal to a. This will be Ez equal to 0 and y equal to 0, y equal to b, Ez equal to 0. So that means at the boundary, this tangential component of electric field will be 0. So now to have this Ez equal to 0 at x equal to 0 and x equal to a, if you apply here at x equal to 0, okay, so sorry, x equal to 0, so this will be vanished, this will not be vanished. Okay, so we will have to take this bm should be equal to 0 from this condition. So bm is equal to 0, that's what it is written. If you apply y equal to 0 as well as y equal to b, so y equal to 0 as well as y equal to b, the sinusoidal component, sine component will be 0. So cos component will not be equal to 0 either at x, y equal to 0 and y equal to b. So both the cases this will not be 0. So in that case we need to take dn equal to 0, so that this Ez will become 0. So dn is equal to 0 from this point we got. Okay, who is this making noise? Please mute. Who is this? Roll number 107, roll number 1, roll number 17, roll number 17. Okay, so yeah, so this is the thing we have, this one. So we have applied the boundary condition. After applying the boundary condition, just apply bm equal to 0, dn equal to 0 in this equation number 1, suppose this one. So just apply in this equation, so we'll get Ez equal to am sin m pi by a into x, cn sin n pi by b into y, e to minus j beta g into z. Now can we take cn and am both together, and we will take it as e naught z. So Ez can be written as the amplitude is E naught Z, and sin m pi by A into x, sin m pi by B into y, e minus j beta g into z, where is E naught Z is equal to am into Cn, and m equal to 1 2 3, n equal to 1 2 3. Why m equal to 1 2 3 and n equal to 1 2 3? See, we have seen graphically, we have seen, okay, for TM mode it cannot be 0 0. It cannot be 0 0, because if we take any point, if we take one point, suppose if we do not take any point, so that means this is 0, this side 0. So 0 0, that means that there is no wave at all, the wave is not propagating. So if you take one dot, or suppose a coaxial cable which is threaded here, or you need to take the mode or number which is existing in the waveguide. So if you check from this side, you will get 1. If you check from this side, you will get what? So 1 1 minimum, 1 1 1 exists. So m is equal to here 1 and n equal to 1. So this is graphically represented. But if you see mathematically, so mathematically you can check here. So Ez is equal to E naught Z sin m pi by A into x, sin n pi by B into y. So if you take m equal to 0, either m equal to 0 or n equal to 0, that means your sine component will be 0. Suppose if you take m equal to 0, sine component will be 0, so whole the term will be 0. So Ez should not be equal to 0. Initially you have written Ez should not be equal to 0. That means your wave will not propagate at all. The energy transmission will not take place. So none of the field will be there to take the energy from one point to the another point. So Ez should not be equal to 0. Okay. So m will not be equal to 0, same as n. If you take n equal to 0, so this n component will become 0, and this whole term will become 0 because it is in multiplication term. So this whole term will become 0, and is it equal to 0. So this should not be happened. So that's why m is equal to and n equal to starting from 1 2 3 and n equal to 1 2 3. If I'll ask you, okay, m equal to 0 or either m equal to 0 and n equal to 0 will exist in TM mode, so you'll say no, it will not exist. If I'll ask you, okay, whether we have a TM01 mode, whether we'll have a TM01 mode. So we'll say no, there is no TM10 existing, or no TM10 and TM01 will exist, or no TM00. Even TE00 is also not existing. Okay, so if either m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, the field intensity is all vanishes. So there is no TM01 and TM10 mode in rectangular waveguide. So you should understand how why this is not in there. Okay, if you check for, this is for EZ for TM mode. Okay, if you check for TE mode, I'm writing here for your reference. If you talk about TE mode, so TE mode HZ should not be equal to 0, Ez equal to 0. Okay, so if Hz equal to not 0, there we have got Hz is equal to H naught Z cos m pi by a into x cos n pi by b into y e to the power minus j beta g into z. Here you can see m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. All is applicable. Here also n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. All is applicable. But both cannot be 0. Here, see, mathematically it is okay. If both is 0, then we'll have h naught z e to minus j beta g into z. But if we say if both will become 0, so inside this waveguide, there is no suppose in this side we cannot see the peak, this side we cannot see the peak, so there is no wave propagating inside this waveguide. So that means there is no wave propagating, so we can say the mode is not existing here. Okay, so there is no wave at all. Okay, so no energy transmission will take place. So in this case you can see, okay, 0 0 simultaneously we cannot take m and n 0, but we can say individually either m equal to 0 or n equal to 0 at a time. Okay, so that was the case for T mode. Now you can see we will proceed with this equation. The sixth equation will come into the picture. Now we have Ez, we got this equation number 2, you take this one. Now we have we have we have Hz equal to 0. The field equation, after expanding the curl equation, curl H is equal to j omega epsilon E. Okay, so there we have got curl H is equal to minus curl H is equal to del j plus del V by del T, and j plus del D upon del T. So there you can see j is equal to 0 for j is equal to sigma E, and we take the lossless dielectric, so sigma equal to j is equal to sigma E and sigma equal to 0, so this j will become 0. So there we can write curl H is equal to del D upon del T. And if you take in the frequency domain, you will get curl H is equal to j omega, and then you have B, and D is equal to epsilon E. You can write j omega epsilon into E. So that's what it is written, j omega epsilon E. Curl H is equal to this one. So if you take curl H values, you will get I j k, and curl can be written as del x, del by del x into I cap, del by del y into j cap, del by del z into k cap. And similarly, H can be written as hx I cap, hy z cap, hz k cap. So if you write in a matrix form, that will be written in a matrix form. Now j omega E can be written as exi, eyj, ezk. You take comparison, you try to find out the ijk component from this matrix, and try to find out and equate with this ijk component. So we'll get 6 equation similar which we have got in that one. Okay, so sorry, we'll get 3 equation. So I component, j component, and k component. So both three equations we got. Similarly, if you proceed for the curl E equation minus j omega mu h, similarly we have curl H is equal to del minus del B upon del T, and del B can be written as j omega minus j omega B. B is equal to mu h, so j minus j omega mu h will be there. And if you proceed with this similar matrix form, so you will get same 3 equation, and these three equation, you take total 6 equation, and try to substitute Hz is equal to 0 and Ez not equal to 0. So Hz equal to 0, and we have del upon del z, which is equal to j beta g. Already we have got substituting del by del z is equal to minus j beta g, and Hz is equal to 0. In the above equation, we get these 6 equation, j beta g hy is equal to j omega epsilon ex here from this point. Okay, from this point, because Hz is equal to 0, so this component will be 0. Here we have Hz, so sorry, this one will be 0. Okay, this one will be 0, and del by del z will be some value, del hz is equal to 0. So these two term will be 0. We'll get from these two equation, and the third equation will be written as it is. But the three equation from this point can be written in this side. Here the three equation is written from this side. So total we have a 6 equation, and these equation can be solved simultaneously for Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy in terms of Ez. So all these can be written and all these can be solved similarly, which we have solved previous. We have solved this is in terms of Hy, Ex, okay, and another equation we have Hy, okay, so Hy, Ex, here Hx, Ey. So you can see another equation Hx, Ey. So here if we have Hx, Ey, both equation can be solved simultaneously, and we'll try to get, so we'll get Ex, Ey, Ez, Hx, Hy. All these we have got, but in terms of Ez we have got. So we can substitute Ez. What we have, Ez is equal to E naught Z sin m pi by a into x sin n pi by b into y into minus j beta g, and we'll try to substitute here. So we'll take differentiation with respect to x and try to substitute. So after substituting, we'll get Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy, and already we have Ez component already we have, and Hz already, which is equal to 0. Okay, Ez is equal to E naught Z. Okay, E naught Z, something we have sin m pi by a into x into sin n pi by b into y into e to the power minus j beta g into z. So that is the equation which we have, and we will try to check. Say this is the equation we can have, and we'll try to find. But let me tell you, if you are asked to have the solution, how you will write directly. Okay, so to have the direct understanding of solution, how the solution is look alike, how we can write the solution, I'll let you know. Okay, so I'll write here first of all, see, I hope you can understand this solution up to this, similar what we have solved for that equation. Okay, and we have kc square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus beta g square, or beta g is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. Okay, so I'll tell you for TM mode I'm writing here, if we have Ez which is equal to E naught Z sine m pi by a into x, I'll let you know how you can write directly. If you don't know the derivation, you can write directly also by understanding this one. See, this is the solution we have. Okay, I'll take this, I'll erase this. Okay, and try to see what I'm writing here. Try to see, you will be able to write directly without solving this solution with this equation. If you're asked to find directly, you have to write. Okay, so we know TM mode, okay, so transverse TM is nothing but transverse magnetic. Okay, so for the transverse magnetic, we know if we have a transverse magnetic, so that means Hz component should be equal to 0. If Hz is 0, by default Ez will be there. Now we don't know whether, first of all, Ez is there, we'll write E naught Z. We don't know whether it is a sine or cos, I don't remember. Okay, so how can I write this one? So just to remember this TM mode, you try to remember TM mode, TM, okay, Mn is there, and M and N, M and N cannot be equal to 0. M and N cannot be equal to 0. So that means if this cannot be equal to 0, that means that should be sinusoidal term. That should be sinusoidal term. Okay, if this cannot be 0, sin m and n cannot be 0, so that means sine can exist. If this is 0, any one of that is 0, so that means that will be cos term. Okay, so you can write here. Now we'll try to find out Ex, Ey, then we have Hx, Hy. So how we can write Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy? Okay, so see, Ex, how we can write Ex? Okay, I'm talking about Ez na. So Ez is there. So you try to find out, first of all, you write Ex, Ey. If Hx is there, Hz is there, I'll write Hx, Hy. So we have Ex, Ey, I'll first write, sorry, if we have Ez here, Ez some value. So I'll first write Ex and Ey. So Ex, Ey, to have this Ex, Ey, first write on E naught X, E naught Y. Okay, and E naught X, I'm writing X component. So X component, that means you just differentiate this x wala value, okay, x component, x sinusoidal term. You keep y term as it is, z term as it is. So z term will not be disturbed, that will be as it is, that is not disturbed because it is propagating in z direction, that will not be disturbed. It can be disturbed only if the direction of the propagation will be changed. So we have Ex is equal to E naught x. This will be differentiated. So I'll write cos m pi by a into x. You will say, sir, this will be differentiated. We'll get again another m pi by a here after differentiating. So this m pi by a is associated with this one, E naught z. Okay, and that will be written as E naught x. So this will be associated with the amplitude term. So no need to worry about that. No need to write one. Okay, so just take the sinusoidal differentiation and try to write out. Okay, no need to write the constant term. And again, that will be as it is sine n pi by b into y. Okay. Similarly, if you write for y term, I am talking about electric field. Already we have electric field in z direction, so I'm writing electric field. So if you write electric field, that will be written as a y component. So this will be written as it is sine m pi by a into x. I'll take differentiation cos n pi by b into y. Okay, that is the thing. Now, if you write hx, now that will be written as h naught x. This is h naught y. I don't have hz. I don't have hz. Hz is zero. So hz is zero. I cannot go through this hz. I cannot take differentiation of this hz, and I cannot write directly here hz. Okay, because if we write, that will be component will be zero. So we cannot write hz from this differentiation. So hx from this differentiation. I'll take it from here, but that will be opposite. If you take x component, you will be differentiate y. If you want to write y component, you just differentiate x component. So that can be read as h naught x. If you're writing x component, that will be sign will be as it is m pi by a into x, and that will be cos n pi by b into y e to the power minus j beta g into z. Okay, and if you're writing y, you just take differentiation of cos this one x term, cos m pi by into x, and you have sine n pi by b into y e to the power minus j beta g into z. So similarly, you can go for T mode also, what we have solved, and you can go for T mode. We have TE mode. So Ez will be 0 and Hz will be written as H naught Z. We have, see, now we don't know whether it is a cos or sine. I don't know. So I'll take transverse electric. This will write transverse electric. So transverse electric, we have TEMN, and M can be 0, 1, 2, 3, and N can be also 0, 1, 2, 3. So to have this 0, 1, 2, 3, that means this can be written as cosine term. M pi by A into S, M pi by A into X, cos N pi by B into Y, and into we have e to the power minus j beta g into z. Okay, so I am writing here. Again, I'm writing here Ex, Ey. Now we'll write Hx, Hy. So I'll let you know what is Hx. So I'm having Hz component. So I'll first of write H naught x. And if we are writing H from Hz now, so we can take x means this will be differentiated. So this will be sine m pi by a into x. We'll have this one as it is cos n pi by b into y e to the power minus j beta g into z. Okay, if you write for y component, so this will be h naught y. This will be as it is cos m pi by a into x, and this will be differentiated sine n pi by b into y e to the power minus j beta g into z. So you will say, sir, why we have not taken minus? Cos ka differentiation is minus sign. It is associated with h naught y. So whatever the thing will be there, that will be multiplied with h naught is, and that will be written as h naught y. So no need to worry about that sign conventions and the constant term. Will associated with all these term will be associated with this one. If you write for Ex, similarly we have Ex, we cannot proceed with the Ez, we can proceed with the Hz component, because all the field energy will be carried out by this one Hz. So we'll take from Hz. So Ex, I'm writing what? Just take opposite of this one x component, opposite y will be differentiated. So this will be sine n pi by b into y e to the power minus j beta g into z, and that will be written as it is E naught x cos m pi by a into x, and this will be I'm writing this one. So this can be written as E naught y, E naught y, and this will be written as sine m pi by a into x cos n pi by b into y. Okay, e to the power minus j beta g into z. So you can go through this cross verify. We will be able to write all these equations. Okay, and in this equation for the TE and TM as well, the energy is carried out by this one. Okay, so try to remember these uh, field equations, and you will be able to write. Okay, whenever you are asked to write what is the electric field component in x direction for the TM mode, transverse magnetic mode, so we will be able to write how we can write ex component of the transverse magnetic field. So you'll be able to write E naught x cos m pi by E into x sin n pi by b into y e to minus j beta g into z. You will be able to write. Okay, so no excuse. Try to see, try to take the analogy, and try to write directly also, and try to have uh, the concept behind this, how this can be proceed, how we will be able to solve this equation, how we'll be able to find the final solution of that equation, starting from Helmholtz equation, taking into consideration that TE mode or TM mode, taking into consideration that EZ component or IZ component will be zero for EZ component will be zero for the transverse electric field, and IZ component will be zero for transverse magnetic field, and we will start with a Helmholtz equation and taking the curl equation and finding out the sixth equation. And by solving that sixth equation, by substituting del upon del z is equal to minus j beta g, and sz and ez whatever is zero, we will substitute and we'll try to find out the sixth equation by solving that equation. Okay, now we have the node here, so try to see what is the node. See, whatever the solution, whatever the formulas and which we have solved for the TE mode, transverse electric mode, that is all applicable for TM mode. Okay, but some of them are different. Few, all not. You cannot say all. Few of them are different. Okay, so TM mode, most of the formulas, you can say most of the formulas are same. Few is different. We'll see the few. What few is different. So first of all, we have a cutoff frequency. We know the cutoff frequency is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi. See, we have how we can find the cutoff frequency. You will be able to find out how we can find the cutoff frequency. Okay. So we have the cutoff frequency. See, we have Kc square, which is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus beta g square. Which we have solved here. Beta g is nothing but propagation constant. Beta g is nothing but propagation constant. If this beta g is propagation constant, if the wave is not propagating, when we can find the cutoff frequency at cutoff frequency, beta g is equal to 0. There is no propagation. So that means you can see omega c square mu epsilon. So this is epsilon. Mu epsilon is equal to kc square. And omega c is nothing but, you can write directly first of all, omega c is nothing but 1 by square root of mu epsilon, and kc is nothing but square root of kx square plus ky square. And this omega c can be written as fc is equal to 1 by 2 pi. Omega c can be written as 2 pi fc, and fc can be written 1 by 2 pi root under mu epsilon root under kx square plus ky square. See, from this equation we are able to find out this terminology. So kx can be written as m pi by a, and ky can be written as n pi by b. So m pi by a whole square, n pi by b whole square. If you take pi common, you will get to know that can be written as 1 by 2 root under mu epsilon, okay, root under m by a whole square plus n by b whole square. And if you be able to check at lossless dielectric medium or free space, if you are able to mu r is equal to 0 and epsilon r is equal to 0, so you will be able to find out this is can be written as c by 2 square root of m by a whole square plus n by b whole square. Oh, that is the simplest formula. And where c is equal to 1 by root under mu epsilon, mu naught into epsilon naught. Okay, clear? So same formula which we have solved for T mode, that is also here applicable, and you will be able to find out. Now to have the propagation constant, how we can find the propagation constant? So we take this propagation constant beta g square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. So omega square mu epsilon minus kc square, and you take common omega square mu epsilon, so you can write omega mu epsilon and 1 minus kc square divided by omega square mu epsilon, and you will be able to check this can be written as this form. So beta g can be written as omega root under mu epsilon square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So that can be written in this form. Okay. If you solve for this, if you are not understanding, I'll try to solve how we can find this equation. Already we have went through, but let me have this solution. So we have kc square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus beta g square. Okay. So I'm trying to find beta g value. So beta g can be written as, or you can write beta g. Okay, I'll let beta g square can be written as omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. So can I write here omega mu epsilon outside omega mu epsilon, or can I take omega square mu epsilon as outside, can be write 1 minus kc by omega square mu epsilon, can be kc square by omega by, can I write here? I'm taking outside omega square mu epsilon. I'll write here 1 minus kc by omega square mu epsilon. So what is this kc square by omega square mu epsilon? Already we have seen, if this becomes 0, omega c square mu epsilon is equal to kc square. Can I write omega square mu epsilon kc square, which is equal to 1? So at cutoff frequency I'm talking about. This is at cutoff frequency. This is 1. Okay, at cutoff frequency. So can I write here this as a beta g can be written as omega root under mu epsilon, and this can be written 1 minus this kc which is cutoff frequency. So kc is what? Kc is equal to omega c square mu epsilon. So let here kc is equal to omega c square mu epsilon divided by omega square mu epsilon. We have this mu epsilon get cancelled. So I'll write here omega root under mu epsilon, and I'll write here 1 minus 2 pi fc, है ना, 2 pi fc by divided by 2 pi f whole square, because omega c square divided by omega square, so something divided by the whole square. So can I write here 2 pi get cancelled? I'll write here omega root under mu epsilon and root under 1 minus fc by f whole square. So you should understand this, how we can find. We have one equation and we are able to find cutoff frequency as well as this one. To have the cutoff frequency, just take this as beta g is equal to 0. There is no propagation at all. If the propagation is there, that means this one will be the equation. The beta g will be there. Now we have the cutoff wavelength. So how we can find the cutoff wavelength? Cutoff wavelength can be written lambda g is equal to lambda divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. Or you will be able to find out the cutoff wavelength from this equation also, beta g. So to have the cutoff wavelength, how we can write the cutoff wavelength? Okay, so cutoff wavelength, how we can write? Cutoff wavelength is nothing but, see, cutoff wavelength I'm talking about. So cutoff wavelength is nothing but this is the wavelength which we are considering, and if you take this cutoff wavelength, so this can be written as lambda g. No? The lambda g is there now. So if you take this lambda g, okay, I'm writing in the next para. Okay, lambda g, I'm talking about cutoff wavelength, lambda g. So lambda g, we have lambda divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f ka whole square. What is lambda? Lambda is equal to, we have this one vp by f. Okay, vp by f. Okay, and vp is nothing but what we have 1 by root under mu epsilon. Okay, so vp is nothing but 1 by root under mu epsilon. Okay. So what is it? Omega by beta g. Omega by beta g. This is lambda. Huh? This is lambda. Okay. So what is omega by beta g? Omega by beta g, we have the Vg. Omega by beta g is nothing but Vg. So you can see here what is this Vg. First of all, I'll write for this one and then I'll go for this lambda g. So what is this omega by beta g? you can find out omega by beta g from this equation. So omega by beta g can be written as you take beta g this side and you take all this term this side. So this can be written as 1 by root under mu epsilon square root of 1 minus fc by f ka whole square. Okay. So this can be written as Vp. This can be written as Vp divided by square root of 1 minus Fc by F ka whole square. This is nothing but Vg, okay, group velocity. Okay, so group velocity is this one, Vp divided by square root of 1 minus Fc by F ka whole square. And if you want to find out this lambda, if you want to find the wavelength, so wavelength is equal to, already we know lambda is equal to c by f. You know, no? Lambda is equal to c by f for the free space. For the free space. So if you want to find the if you want to find for guided wave, so if you want to find for guided wave, I'm talking about lambda for the free space, that is nothing but c by f, which is nothing but vp upon f. Okay, vp is nothing but again phase velocity in the you can say free space. Okay, that is nothing but c by f, and vp is nothing but 1 by square root of mu epsilon. So if you take guided wavelength lambda g, so lambda g is nothing but Vg upon f, Vg upon f. And what is that Vg? Vg, we have Vp upon square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square, and whole divided by you can say f. This is nothing but this one. So Vp by f again can be written as lambda divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So that is nothing but this equation lambda g. So that's what we have solved. And we all these equation can be solved from this equation only. See, the root equation is this one. We are started with this one. We know group velocity can be written as omega by beta g. Velocity can be written as omega by beta g. And we know simple wavelength can be written as c by f, where is nothing but vp upon f. And where the guided wavelength, which is equal to guided wavelength, is equal to guided velocity divided by frequency, the operating frequency. Okay. So you should understand this equation. Okay, now we have another, the wave impedance. Okay, I hope the phase velocity already we have done in positive z direction. Now we have this one, characteristic wave impedance. So what is the value of characteristic wave impedance? That equation is changed. That equation is changed. There we have got Zg is equal to eta divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f ka whole square. There we have got, but here we are getting Zg is equal to eta into 1 minus fc by f ka whole square. Because here it is directly depends on electric field and magnetic field. And we know electric field and magnetic field changed for the transverse electric and as well as transverse magnetic. And we can find the Zg from that sixth equation, that Ex upon Hy. What is the Ex upon Hy? Beta g upon square root of beta g upon mu epsilon. And from that equation, we can find out beta g we can take from here. Beta g from here we can take, and we can substitute here this in this equation. And we will be able to find eta, which is equal to square root of mu by epsilon, which we know that is called 120 pi, and Zg is equal to eta into square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square, eta. That is called 120 pi. Eta is equal to 120 pi. Okay. So you should understand, you should be able to find, see, only the characteristic impedance, characteristic wave impedance is changing. All other values are same. All other equations are same. Only the characteristic impedance which is changed. Okay. You should remember this equation. Now we have one problem which we have already went through. I think in the yesterday's class already we have went through and we have solved. That is the equation that is the problem which we have went through. Okay. So the same equation which is written as 7 cross 3.5 centimeter here also. Excuse me, 7.3.5 centimeter. Excuse. So that's how equation is written here, and you can go through this problem also. Okay, clear? So now we will be taking the power transmission in rectangular waveguide. Okay, so how the power is transmitted in the rectangular waveguide. I'll not take power loss. Power loss, power loss is due to two types of power loss we have. you can say power loss in rectangular waveguides is due to the losses of light dielectric and losses in the waveguide wall. So first of all, power transmission in rectangular waveguide, how the power is transmitted. Okay, so how the transmitted power can be find out. Okay, so first of all, power transmission we have seen here, power transmission in rectangular waveguide. The power transmitted through a waveguide and the power lost in the waveguide wall. So you can say we have a waveguide, so power transmitted through the waveguide and power lost in the waveguide wall. So this is the waveguide we have. This is the waveguide we have. So in the waveguide, power transmitted through the waveguide in the z direction, in the z direction. Okay, so power transmitted in the waveguide and power lost in the waveguide wall. So at the waveguide wall, there is a loss of power. Okay, can be calculated from the Poynting theorem. So we can calculate power transmission or power loss in the waveguide wall from the theorem which is called as a Poynting theorem. Poynting theorem. So already we are familiar with the Poynting theorem. So power transmitted through a waveguide PR, power transmitted can be written as closed integral P dot ds. Okay, the surface integral we have the closed surface integral P dot ds, and P dot ds can be written as powered, okay, half into E cross H conjugate, E cross H conjugate into ds. So that is the equation in written here. If we take in z direction, the wave is propagating in z direction, and you can say power delivered in z direction. If you want to find, so you will be able to check. We have E cross H star. We have E cross H star, and we are taking the two dimensional. The surface is dx and dy. We are taking the cross section of that, and that will be the x and y. So dx and dy, that will be moving in z direction, and the x is starting from x equal to 0 to x equal to a, and y is starting from y is equal to 0 to y equal to a, y equal to b. Okay, it is starting from 0 to a x value, and y is starting from 0 to b, and the half will become as it is. Surface can be written as this one, and this p which we are writing, p delivered or p transmitted in z direction, or you can say power delivered. So if you're able to find out, because e and h will be having the directional component, we'll try to write down. This can be written as a real term. Okay, maybe this will have an imaginary term, so I'll try to write this as a real term. Okay, so this can be written as a real term, real of this value, that is moving in a z direction, that is a directional value. Okay, ठीक है. Okay, so if you check how we can find another equation. If you take the transmitted now, if you check the transmitted, how we can find the transmitted power. So if you want to find the transmitted power, I'll let you know how the transmitted power can be written as. So transmitted, this is also transmitted. So transmitted can be written in the form 1 by 2, and I'll let E cross H. Now we have E cross H. So E and H is related with this equation. E and H can be related with this equation. ZG, na? E and H can be related with ZG. So you can write E cross H with the ZG. So E cross H. If you write C, E can be written as ZG into H. Suppose EX I'm talking about. EX is equal to ZG into HY. So if you want to replace, you take this EX, I'm talking about EX cross product H star na, so H will be conjugate of this one. Suppose we have electric field in X direction, that will be in Y direction, conjugate this one. So you take EX HY, and then both are related to the ZZ. So can I write electric field magnitude value is square divided by ZG? I can write here. If we take this magnitude value, so E magnitude is square divided by ZG, we can replace H with the ZZ value, or we can replace electric field with the ZZ. So I'll write here, and I'll take this one. Okay. Okay. So I'll write here, and this can be written as 1 by 2 ZG and this is starting from electric field square, okay, dA, or it can be also be written as zg upon 2. See, if you take in the magnetic field, if you want to write, so you can write, okay, so this is can be written as magnetic field square into dA, okay, and this is nothing but, or ds, if you want you can write ds, surface integral. This is surface integral ds, okay. So that's how it can be written as, where you can say, you can write where zg is equal to ex upon ex upon hy, or you can write minus ey upon hx. Already we have dictated you that x, y, and z. If you want to write x to y, you can write electric field. See, in for zg, electric field in the numerator. So you can write x to y directly positive sign. If you want to write from y to z, you have to write the negative. Y to x, you will need to take the negative sign. So that is a transmitted power you can write here. See, if you want to replace zg now, you can also replace. If you want to replace zg, and if you want to find the tm mode, I'll write here another okay, I'll write here, okay, I'll go through the another slide also. I'll take one slide, more slide, 1 minute. Okay, so see, if you want to write this one transmitted power in terms of zg, so you know, for the transverse electric, we have zg is equal to, for the transverse electric I'm talking about, zg is equal to, we have eta divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. And we have for tm, we have zg, which is equal to eta into square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So if you want to write for the transmitted power now, you can write transmitted power to T transmitted, which is equal to, for the TEMN mode, I'm talking about TMN mode. I'm talking about TEMN mode. You can write here square root of, if you take 1 by ZG now, so ZG 1 minus FC by F will be numerator. So that can be 1 minus FC by F whole square, and that will be 2 eta, and that will be surface integral. That can be written as ex surface integral. If you want, you can write x and y as well. So this can be written x and y. So ex square plus ey square. I'm talking about ex ey. So we'll take dx dy here, surface integral dx dy. So if you want to write, you can write here electric field component x direction and as well as y direction. And similarly, if you want to write PTR for this one, so this can be written as 1 by, okay, 2 eta square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square, and that can be written as x, that can be written as y as well as x ex square plus ey square, okay, dx dy, okay. So that's how it is written as. And eta, you know, eta is nothing but square root of mu by epsilon, which is equal to 120 pi. That's called intrinsic impedance in an unbounded dielectric. Intrinsic impedance in unbounded dielectric. Unbounded dielectric. Okay. So it is clear. So transmitted power, if you are asked to find, so you can be able to find if you have given the cutoff frequency and if given the operating frequency, you will be able to find out this one. Given that electric field and magnetic field is given to you. Okay. So now we will have this power loss. Okay. So power losses in rectangular waveguide. Rectangular waveguide. See, power loss means the loss of power while propagating a wave from one end to the another wave, another end of the waveguide. So, what are the losses are there in the rectangular waveguide? See, rectangular waveguide, we have a wall, waveguide wall, and all the waveguide, oh sorry, all the wave which is propagating inside the waveguide, that will be collided with the wall, and that will be collided with the wall, and that results into the losses, and that losses is called losses due to the waveguide wall. losses in the guided wall. You can write here, these are the two types of power losses in rectangular waveguide. Okay, these are the two, okay, types of power losses in rectangular waveguide. Okay, so first one, this one. Second one, we have losses in the dielectric. Losses in the dielectric. So dielectric means inside this waveguide, whatever the dielectric component we have, this is the hollow structure now. So inside this we have a dielectric component, and this dielectric component, due to this, as your for the first class we have seen, the initial classes we have seen, due to this dielectric component inside this waveguide wall making a capacitive structure, and this wall is making as the inductive structure. So this is making as a capacitance. Okay, so losses in the dielectric, and due to the dielectric behavior, this losses will be there, or sorry, due to the dielectric present in the waveguide, the losses will be there. Okay, now we will go through this problem which we have here, and we'll try to see this problem. Okay, so in this problem you can see the problem which is given here is written as an air-filled waveguide with a cross section 2 cross 1 centimeter transports energy in the TE10 mode at the rate of 0.5 HP. So this is the energy transport rate which is given here, 0.5 HP. No need to worry about that. Whatever the value which is given here, we don't need that value actually. That is making a confusion out of that. So no need to worry about that. Whatever the value which is given here, 0.5 HP or whatever the 2 HP or 3 HP, whatever these are transport energy rate which is given here. So the mode is important. The mode which is given here, mode is given as TE10 mode, transverse electric. And the cross section area for the rectangular waveguide which is here 2 cross 1 centimeter. That is A is 2 and B is 1 centimeter. Now we have impressed frequency is 30 gigahertz. So impressed frequency means what? What frequency which is given here? Impressed frequency means what? Is this a cutoff frequency or is this a operating frequency? So impressed frequency means nothing but the operating frequency. And what is the peak value of electric field occurring in the waveguide? What is the peak value of the electric field occurring in the waveguide, which I asked you to find out. So what is the peak value of the electric field occurring in the waveguide? So we'll go through this and we'll try to find what is the peak value of electric field. How we can find? I'll let you know. So first of all, I'll take one blank slide to have this problem. To solve this problem, I'll take one blank slide, 1 minute. And once I'll solve this problem, I'll stop. Okay. Circular waveguide we'll study in the next class. See, I'm taking this slide to here, this one to this one. I'll crop it to this one. Okay. So to take this, okay. So I'll try to see this problem, and I'll take one more slide because one slide is not enough. Okay. Take. So this is the problem we have. This is the problem we have. So an air-filled cross section of 2 cross 1 centimeter. So we have the cross section area, that is A is equal to 2 centimeter. Can I write as a 0. Sorry, can I write as a 0.02 meter, or can I write 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter? Okay. Similarly, we have B. First of all, you should write this one all in terms of this meter, because if you don't write now, your problem answer will be wrong. Okay. Sometimes we are in hurry and we write directly, and that leads to a problem wrong. Okay. So wrong answer. So that we have 1 centimeter, so that can be written 0.01 meter, that can be written as 1 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter, whatever the thing which is required we can write. We have given TE10 mode, so that means we have m is equal to 1 and n equal to 0, that is the mode. And TE10 mode is EZ component will be 0 and HZ is not equal to 0. So HZ should be what? What should be the HZ value? So we know TE10 mode, we should write directly. We cannot go through the solution, we cannot go through the derivations. We should write directly whatever the solution which I have dictated you should be able to write it. First of all, you should tell me how we can write HZ. So HZ can be written as, how we can write? H naught Z. See, 0 is possible now, so that will be cos term. All these will be cos. So cos m pi by a into x cos n pi by b into y e to the power minus j beta g into z. Okay, so now what should be the ex, ey, and we will write here hx, hy. So what is that ex? Am I audible now? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, okay. So see, this is ex, ey, hx, hy. So first of all, I'll try to write ex component. So what is this ex? Ex is equal to e naught x. This will be e naught y. By default, e to the power minus j beta g into z will be there. Here also, so because wave is propagating in positive z direction. Here also, e to the power minus j beta g, j beta g into z will be there. Here also, e to the power minus j beta g into z will be there. Okay, so and here will be h naught x, h naught y. So first of all, I'm talking about hx. We have hz component. I'll try to write. So that will be differentiated. X term will be differentiated. That can be written as sine m pi by a into x cos n pi by b into y. And this can be written as y term now. So this will be differentiated sine n pi by b into y. And this can be written as cos x. So we should write e naught x. E naught x can be written as x term. So y term will be differentiated. This x term will be written as it is cos m pi by a into x, and this can be written as sine n pi by b into y. And here this will be sine m pi by a into x cos n pi by b into y. So that is the thing which we got. We have written all these 6 equation. Why we have written 6 equation? I'll let you know. Okay, why this is required. The impressed frequency which is given here as impressed frequency f is equal to how much it is given? 30 gigahertz. Impressed frequency 30 into 10 to the power 9. Okay. So we got all these. Now I'll try to write for this TE10 mode. So for TE10 mode, you try to put m is equal to 1 and n equal to 0. So put m is equal to 1 and n equal to 0 in the above equation. So if you take m is equal to 1 and n equal to 0, so n equal to 0 means this equation will be vanished. So that means ex is equal to 0. Now this component hz will be as it is. So hz can be written as h naught z cos m pi by a. M is 1, so this will be pi by a into x. And cos n is 0, so cos 0 is 1. So it can be written minus j beta g into z. Now we have ex. Ez was already 0, na? So ez you write as it is 0. Now let ex, ey. So we know ex is equal to 0. We got. Now we have ey. Ey, how we can write? E naught y. And I can write sine m pi by a na. So it can be written as pi by a into x, and cos 0. It will be 0. Cos 0 is 1. E to the power minus j beta g into z. Now we'll write hy. So hy, sorry, hx. First of all, I'll write hx. So hx is equal to sine m, cos will be 0. So cos will be 1. So that can be written h naught x sine pi by a into x Okay, e to the power minus j beta g into z. And what is that hy? Hy is equal to 0. Okay, that is all 6 equation we have. So in that 6 equation, the 3 equation is 0, and only these equation we have. Now, can you tell me if you check how we need to find out the intensity? Hannah, we need to find what is the equation which is asked. What is the peak of electric field occurring in the guide? So peak of electric field that is occurring in the guide. So see, you are asked to find peak of electric field which is occurring in the guide. So in the waveguide, these two field is vanishes. This the electric field in the z direction and electric field in the x direction is vanishes and both become 0. So you will be able to find only the EY component. And EY component means we need to find out E naught Y only, the peak value of electric field occurring in the guide. See, if we suppose X is occurring, so we will be able to find, we will be trying to find E naught X also. So here these two components is 0, no need to find out, we need to find out E naught Y. So we need to find E naught Y because this field is occurring, we need to find E naught Y. So how we can find the E naught Y? We need to take the power transmission. We need to take the power transmission. And how the power is transmitted, how the power is going, we need to take out. Okay. So first of all, we will take the power transmission. Okay. So how the power is transmitted? So we have the equation, power transmitted equation, P is equal to real of half 0 to B, 0 to A, E cross H star or H conjugate dx dy az. Okay. Clear hai? Okay, I hope it is clear to you. Now, can you tell me, I'll substitute here. I will be trying to substitute here and we will write here. I'll take next page. Okay, so I'll try to write power equation P is equal to real of half 0 to A, 0 to B, 0 to A, E cross H star dx dy, okay, and it is moving in a z direction. Okay, it is moving in the az direction. So I'll try to substitute here real. I'll write here as it is. I'll write here half as it is, 0 to B, 0 to A. First of all, E, what is the E component we have? So first of all, E component in the y direction we have. Suppose this is in y direction, the magnetic field should be in x direction. Okay. हाँ, क्लास के बाद कॉल कर रहा हूँ. Okay, so we have this one. So electric field E naught Y. So we have electric field E naught Y sine pi x by A. Okay, e to the power minus j beta g to z. Okay, that is moving in y direction. Okay, y direction. Now that will be cross multiplied or that will be taking the curl, or you can say cross multiplication of with this one, and that we have a H field. So H field is you can say H field, you can take ZG or I'll write directly. First of all, I'll write directly H naught. What is it? H naught X direction, no? H naught X. H naught X. What is it? Hx na ey hx. So h naught x sine pi by a, sine pi by a into x, e to the power j beta g into z, and that is moving in ax direction. Okay, that we have a dx dy, and that will be az dot product of this one, because I'm talking about real part now. So we'll take this one, dot of this one. Okay. So see why this is plus sign, because we are taking the conjugate. H ka direction is this one, h naught x sine pi by a into x e to minus j beta g into z. So So I'm taking conjugate of this one. So conjugate, this will be whatever the variable, the j term will be there, that will be plus sign. So that will be out of phase by 90 degree. So we'll take this one. Okay. So plus j. So this one will be plus beta g into z. Or sorry, 180 degree out of phase. So now can you take this one and this one both multiply and try to find out. So we have ay and we have ax. So we'll get az direction and we'll get az direction, and this az is already we have. So az is a dot product, that will be 1. So that will be vanished out. No issues. Now we need to take out this one, e to the minus j beta z, beta g into z, and that will be crossed with the e to the plus j beta g into z. So that will be again vanished, and this sine term will be there. Now what is this? First of all, you write here, this will be half 0 to b, 0 to a, e naught y, and h naught x. That is nothing but a component, that is nothing but a constant quantity, or you can say that that is nothing but amplitude. So e naught y, h naught x, I've written here. Now these term will be vanished. I'll write directly here. This can be written as sine pi by a into x whole square dx dy. Anyone who is not able to understand this, let me know. This is ay cap cross with ax cap, ay ax cap, that will be minus az. So that can be written as a minus component with the az, and that will be multiplied with this one. So that can be written as a minus az. So I'll take this as a minus sign somewhere here, or you can say outside. I'll take minus sign. See, ay, ax. If you take x, y, and z now, so if you multiply, if you take cross product ay cross ax now, you'll get minus az. If you take ax cross ay, so you'll get az. Ax cross ay is equal to az. So minus sign will be there. Keep in mind. So I'm writing sine pi by ax ka whole square, and this term will be vanished out. Okay, because this is not directional. This is simply a quantity, a magnitude quantity. So that will be multiplied and it will be vanished out. E to the power 0, that will be vanished. Now the question is, this is a constant quantity we will take out outside, and I'll write here minus 1 by 2 e naught y h naught x. Okay, 0 to b, 0 to a sine pi pi x by a whole square, sorry, pi x by a sine square pi x by a, you can say dx dy. Now the question is how we can eliminate this e naught x, e naught y, e naught x, how we can eliminate. So we know that this one we can write down from ZG also, and okay. So we need, see, we need to find out e naught y now. E naught y, we need to find e naught y. So first of all, I want to replace this h naught x with the e naught y, because or otherwise h naught x should be replaced with some value, because h naught x is not known to me. Even though e naught y is already e naught y is also not known to me. So we need to find out h naught x in terms of e naught y. So how we can find h naught x in terms of e naught y? So h naught x can be written as this one. H naught x can be written as zg is equal to zg ey upon hx minus ey upon hx. Na? So this e naught y can be written as ey upon hx. So this can be written as e naught y upon h naught x. I'll take it out from this one. So okay, so e naught y upon minus sign. So this can be written as minus beta g upon omega, okay, mu naught, omega mu naught, or you can say omega mu beta g by omega mu and e naught y. Okay, so that can be written in this form. You can find it out from this from the previous equations that we have got out that we had. You can find out from this one. See, we have this one beta g by omega mu omega epsilon. We have this one omega epsilon we have, and previously if you want to check Ey upon hx, na, but transverse electric I'm talking about, not transverse electric. So if you check the transverse electric, you will be able to understand transverse electric. Yes, transverse electric. This is omega mu by beta g. Ey upon hx is equal to minus Ey upon hx is equal to omega mu by beta g. Minus Ey upon hx is equal to omega mu by beta g. Omega mu by beta g. So minus Ey upon hx is equal to omega mu by beta g. So that can be rearranged. Okay, already we have omega mu by beta g, Ey upon hx, Ey upon hx minus Ey upon hg is equal to, for the transverse electric I'm talking about transverse electric. So Ey upon hx, which is equal to omega mu by beta g. That's what we have got it from this equation. So you just replace with this equation h naught x. So that can be written as minus minus will be cancelled. That can be written as 1 by, that can be written 1 by 2. That can be written as beta g upon omega mu naught e naught y square, and that can be 0 to b, 0 to a sine square, or sine square pi by pi, it can be written 1 minus cos 2 pi x by a, okay, divide by 2 dx by dy. Or if you will solve for this one now, sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. Okay, so if you solve this equation, solve this differentiation, you will be able to find this can be AB, only AB, and this is written as 1 by 2 beta g divided by omega mu naught e naught y square into AB. You will be able to find out. That is called power radiated. Okay, and from this power we will be able to find out what is the power we have, and beta g can be found out, beta g can be found out from that equation which we had. Beta g can be found out from that equation, omega square mu epsilon minus pi square by a square, and pi square by a square can be written omega beta g square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. We know from this can be written beta g is equal to square root of omega square mu epsilon minus kc square is equal to kx square plus ky square, and we know kx and ky can be written as m pi by a n pi by b, and we know t10, so ky will be vanished out, ky will vanish, kx can be written as pi by a whole square, so pi square by a square, and this can be omega square mu epsilon. Okay, so from this you can find out beta g. Okay, from this you can find out beta g. So just substitute, you can find out, and we have power which is given. So how much power delivered in z direction? So power delivered in z direction, which is given. Okay, which is not given here, but you take it as a power delivered, some value if you take. So here in the problem itself, it is not given. So you should take, maybe you take any value in terms of power, you can write out the equation. So E naught y square is equal to something we'll get in terms of power, in terms of power. Okay. And if you want to write, you take the energy transmission that is there now, 0.5 HP. So 0.5 HP can be converted into watt, and 0.5 HP can be converted into watt. That will be 373 watt. You check it out. This one, what value you are getting, 373 watt you will get, and after solving this E naught y, you will get something. E naught y you will get value will be comes out to be 53.87, and this is electric field. So electric field will be volt per meter. That is the answer we had. Okay, so let's stop here. That is the E naught y we have. So you just try to find out. Okay, this you can substitute. This you can substitute from here. Substitute this value, that this equation. So E naught y you can get 53.87 kilowatt per meter. This is the this is the problem which we have taken from the Samuel Liao book. You should go through this book, Micro Devices in Circuit, which I provided you the PDF also in the WhatsApp group. You can go through that book, and the page number 115, it is there, and example 4-1-2. Okay. So we'll try to take few problems from rectangular waveguide in the next class also, and we'll try to see, and then we'll start with the circular waveguide, and we'll go through the circular waveguide. So meanwhile, you have the notes. You try to see the circular waveguide. Okay, so how it can be proceed. Here the concept is different. The few things is different because we cannot proceed with the rectangular waveguide. Okay, so whatever we have taken the coordinate system in the rectangular waveguide like x, y, z, we cannot go through the x, y, z. We will have the rectangular coordinate system, and in that we will try to see the r5z. Okay, and in terms of r5z, we'll try to see and we again start with the Helmholtz equation, and we'll try to find out the general solution of the waveguide. And after finding the general solution, the psi which we have got here in terms of Bessel function, and what is Bessel function, I'll let you know in the next class. And again, we will try to find out TE mode and TM mode, and same what we have dictated in the the rectangular waveguide now, starting with the Helmholtz equation, take the curl equation, try to find out the sixth equation, and that sixth equation can be solved together and find out the solution. Okay, so we will see in the next class. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt, please let me know. Okay. Okay, any doubt in the today's class? If you have any doubt, please let me know. Any doubt?